Okay, so now that we've learned a little about Romero Britto and his art, which we call pop art, which means popular art, we are going to be creating some pop art of our own. Before we get started, we're going to talk about one more thing. We are going to talk about what kind of picture this is. This is what we call a landscape. Now, we talked a little bit about this in first grade, and we're going to be talking more about it this year. A landscape is a picture of the land. As you can see, we've got our ground, our trees, our skies, and we have a building in this picture, but is it the most important thing in the picture? No, it's not. The land is the most important thing. Now, one other thing about landscapes is when you draw a landscape, they normally go a certain way. On our paper, they go long way. Now, my paper is turned up and down, tall. We call that portrait. And this is the way we turn our paper if we're going to draw a picture of a person. Okay? So tall is portrait, long is landscape. And landscapes are pictures of the land. So we're going to make a landscape today, and we are going to draw it in the style of Romero Britto with all those bright, vibrant colors and different shapes and lines that just make it look unique. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the ground. So get your pencils, and we're going to start in the middle, and we're going to draw just like a little hill. So I'm going to come up a little bit, and then I'm going to go down a little bit. Just a gentle sloping hill. So it's almost a straight line, but it's got just a little bit of wave to it to make it look interesting. Okay, now once we have our ground line here, now we're going to start adding some trees. So I'm going to add a tree right here in the middle. So I'm going to draw two curved lines going in opposite directions. One curves to the right, one curves to the left. Now, if you look at the way I drew my branches, can you see how I made a W? I go down and then up and then down and then over. It looks like the letter W. So what we are going to do, we are going to make a W in our tree. So watch, I'm going to curve down, curve up, curve down, and then from here, I curve over to the right side. And now I've got the letter W for my tree branches. Okay, now let's take a look at our leaves before we draw them. Now, when I put my hand on my paper, you can see my leaves are really, really big, and they go almost to the very top of my paper. I want to make these very, very big. That way I can add these cool stripes into them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down here near the bottom of my tree trunk. And I'm going to make a big curved line that curves around my branch and up. And then I'm going to make another curved line going up to the top of my paper. Now, do I need to draw it exactly the way I drew it over here? Nope. I can draw it different. I can draw it differently every single time I draw this picture, and that's what's going to make it unique. Okay? So yours isn't going to look exactly like mine, and that is perfectly fine. Okay? So then I'm going to add another rainbow line going over. Again, try to get it up as close to the top of your paper as you can. Draw big. The bigger you draw, the more room we have for lines. And then I'm going to draw one that's starting to curve back down towards my tree trunk. And we'll draw another one. And then this last one, I'm going to draw it and connect it down to my tree trunk. And now I've got a tree in the middle with a lot of leaves up here that we can color really cool later on. Okay, now I'm going to draw a smaller tree. So I'm going to follow the same steps that I did with this one for this little tree right here, okay? Except this trunk is pretty wide. It's about 2 fingers wide, and this one's only about 1 finger wide, okay? So I'm going to draw my 2 lines kind of close together. And again, I'm going to make that letter W for my branches. So I curve down, curve up, curve down, and then curve over to the other side. W, down, up, down, up. Now this tree, its branches, or its leaves rather, look different than this one. This one, they are wide. This one, they're tall, okay? So I wanted this one to be wide and this one to be tall. So I'm going to start down here just like I did on this one, and I'm going to make that curved line that goes up, and then I'm going to curve this one like a sideways rainbow, curve it again up to the top, curve it again over to the side. Oh, I just realized you can't see the edge of my paper there. Okay, and then I'm going to curve it down, curve it down. I'm kind of running out of room over here, but you know what? That's okay. It just makes my picture look unique and gives my tree a funny little shape. So now I've got my ground and I've got my 2 trees. Okay, now over here in this empty space, I'm going to put a little house. So I'm going to draw 2 vertical lines. 2 vertical lines about the same height. And then I'm going to draw a horizontal line right across the top, and that's going to be the bottom of my roof. Okay, now I'm going to show you an easy to make a triangle. Okay, so looking at my horizontal line, I'm going to find the middle, right there in the middle, and then I'm going to come up, make a dot. So the middle of my horizontal line, and then I came straight up and made just a little itty bitty dot, just big enough for me to be able to see. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my dot down here to this side, and then I'm going to connect my dot over here to this side. And that's going to make a nice, even triangle for my roof. So I found the center of my line, made a dot, then I connected my dot to the left side of the line and connected it to the right side of the line to make my roof. That's just an easy way to make a triangle. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is now I'm going to start adding all of the design to my picture. So I'm going to start with the ground, and I'm just making these curved rainbow lines that start at the ground line and come all the way down to the bottom of my picture. So I'm going to start here in the middle, and I'm going to start under my tree, and I'm just going to curve down. So I'm going to start right here in the middle and curve down all the way to the very bottom of my paper. Okay, then I'm going to come over a little bit, probably about 2 or 3 fingers, and I'm going to make the same curved line down here. So now it kind of looks like I've got like a little road or a sidewalk that's coming up, but I'm going to keep these lines going all the way across. Now, Little helpful hint, the wider you make your lines, the less you've got to switch colors as you go across. If you make them really close together, you are going to be switching your colors a lot. This makes it a little bit easier to color when you make them wide. Come over again, make another curved line down to the bottom, and they don't have to be the same. If you want to make some a little bit closer together, some far apart, that's fine. Make this picture yours, make it unique. And remember, there are no mistakes. So if you accidentally make one really close together, that's okay. Then you're just going to have one really close together. I'm going to add another one over here. And as you can see, my lines don't look exactly like I did on this paper. And that's fine. It doesn't have the same. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. Remember, this is your picture. This is your artwork. I'm just helping you get the steps, and you can get your own. Now that I've gone towards the right, now I'm going to go back and go towards the left. So I'm going to come over and curve down. And then I'm going to come over and curve. Now this time I ran into the edge of my paper, which is fine. I'll just stop right there. And I've just got this little bitty sliver over here. So go ahead and finish your ground lines. I'm going to give you guys a couple more seconds to finish that. And then we're going to go back and add in the rest of the details to the top of our picture. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to be adding some designs to our trees. Now, as you can see on my big tree, I chose diagonal stripes. And then on my little tree, I chose horizontal stripes. Okay, so to do my diagonal stripes, I'm just going to draw some slanted lines. And again, I want to make these big, okay, because the smaller they are, the more coloring we have to do. So make them big, it's actually less coloring because you only don't have to switch. Like I only have 4 and 4, so I only had to color 2 stripes and then the other 2. So it was a whole lot easier to make my stripes big. So I'm going to draw a slanted line from my leaves down the tree trunk. And then we'll do another one. Now this one's going to be interesting because it's different than what I did here. Because this stripe, whatever color is here, is also going to be down here. So that's going to be interesting. And then I'm going to add one more diagonal stripe. Now, do they have to be perfectly straight? No. Do they all have to be the same size? No. We'll do some diagonal stripes. And then on this one, we're going to do some horizontal stripes. So take a few seconds and finish your diagonal stripes here. And then we'll do our horizontal stripes on our tall leafy tree. Okay, for this one, it's simple. I'm just going to draw a horizontal line. And then we'll come down a little bit and draw another one. And then we'll come down a little bit and draw one more. It's as simple as that. I just drew 3 horizontal lines. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some polka dots to my background. Just because. So I'm just going to draw some polka dots, and they're about as big as my thumb, which is about the size of a dime. Okay? You can make some big, you can make some a little bit smaller, like this one's the size of my pinky, because I had a little space to fill. But I'm just going to add some polka dots. And one other thing I can do is I can make my polka dots look like they're going off of the edge of the page. So if I start up here and draw a smiley face, it looks like I got a polka dot going off the edge of paper. I can just add a few up there. Just add some polka dots. You don't have to fill up all the space. I'm just going to add a few in just to make it look interesting. I'm going to add just a little smiley face here and a little smiley face there. Add a smiley face in the corner. Just makes my picture look a little more interesting. Okay, so you've added all your polka dots, then we are ready to color. Now, here's the deal with the coloring. I'm going to let you color this however you want. If you want to copy what I've done here, that's fine. I'm going to color it completely different over here. So if you want to follow what I'm doing over here, that's okay. Or if you just want to use the colors you want to use, that's fine. The only thing I want you to do today is we're only using the color rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. We're not going to use brown. We're not going to use black. We're just using those bright rainbow colors like Romero Britto uses to make our picture look interesting. So those are not going to be the color that they normally are, and that's okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, like I said, you can choose what you want to do. You can follow along with me if you like. You can copy this one. You can copy this one. I don't mind. Either way you want to do it is up to you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a purple marker, and I'm going to do all my polka dots purple in this picture. So I'm just going to outline my dots. I'm not going to color them in with my marker. I'm just outlining them purple. And again, you can use any color you want. Just make sure it's one of our rainbow colors. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, or violet, because purple is also violet. And I'm just outlining my polka dots. Once I've outlined my polka dots, I snap that cap. Then I'm going to color them in. And if you want to color this your own way, and if you want to start with the ground first or the trees, you don't have to color this in the same order as me. Or if you're following along, just go ahead. Okay, now that I'm done with my polka dots, I'm going to move on, and I'm going to do my house next. I'm going to do a greenhouse with an orange roof. I think that's going to look interesting. And that's what makes this project fun, is that I can just color these things all kinds of different colors, and it doesn't have to be the color they normally are. I just get to play around and try different color combinations and see what looks best. and just have fun. That's the whole point, is just to have fun with drawing and coloring and making art, because that's what it's all about. Making art should always be fun. Let's see. I think I'm going to do my ground next, because I know I want to do my blue and gold. I'm going to switch up and do my ground blue and gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stripe it. So I'm going to start over here in the corner with my and again, this is why I told you guys to draw these big, because that way you don't have to switch that often. So I'm going to do one yellow stripe. Then I'm going to get my blue marker out, and I'm going to outline, and then I'll color in with my blue crayon. So by making my lines big, that means I don't have to switch colors that much. Oh, and another thing, you don't have to just use 2 colors on the ground if you don't want to. If you want to make it 3 colors, that's fine. If you just do all the rainbow across, that's fine too. It doesn't matter how you color this. You can use all kinds of different colors. I just like doing the stripes. But you know what? I think I'm going to do some rainbow stripes on my trees, since I mentioned that, because that sounds fun. So I finished my ground with these 2 colors, and then for my trees, I think I'll do red, because I think that's just going to look really, really cool. So we're going to keep doing this, and then we're going to try out those rainbow stripes on the trees and see how that's going to look. And again, that's what art's all about, is just experimenting and trying new things. Sometimes they work, look great, and sometimes you're like, maybe I should do that a bit differently next time. But you can always do this project again. You know, if you take it home, get another sheet of paper and draw it again, and then change up the colors. That is what makes art even more fun, is that you can make the same picture over and over and then change the colors up, and it's going to be different every time. Just like what I'm doing. Same picture, different colors, and it's going to look so cool. At least I hope it's going to look cool. But even if it's not exactly what I want, I'm still going to be happy with it, because I tried and I did my best. And that's one of the things we do in art, is we always do our best. So I'm just going to keep switching my colors. And again, when I'm coloring with my crayon, we color lightly. We stay in the lines and all the white spaces. Okay, almost done with my ground. And again, you do not have to work at the same pace as me. If you're going a little bit slower, that's fine. You're working a little bit faster, even better. Okay, I've got one more stripe to do on my ground. I don't know if anybody missed the way I colored my ground. I did them West Virginia, didn't I? Blue and yellow for West Virginia. Just because I thought that would be fun. Okay, so now that I am done with my ground, now I'm going to start on my trees. So I want to do them rainbow colored. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my trunk, and I'm going to do it red, and then I'm going to go orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then I'm going to start over again. Red, orange, yellow, green. So I'm just going to kind of go kind of in an arc like a rainbow. And you don't have to do it this way, but if you want to, I just think it's going to look pretty cool. So I'm going to outline my tree first. At least I think this is going to look cool. I don't know. We will see. But at least I'll know I tried. Tried something different, tried something new. Let's see if it turns out the way I'm hoping it's going to. Okay, so my trunk is red. Now I'm going to do this set of leaves here. This first stripe, I'm going to do orange. And I'm switching between my markers and crayons, always making sure I snap the cap on my marker before I put it up. Color lightly, I color neatly, I stay in the lines, and I fill in the whole space. Okay, so I did red, orange, now comes yellow. So right now I've got all of the warm colors on my tree. First three colors of the rainbow are the warm colors, and the last three are the cool colors. Red, orange, yellow, and then green, blue, and purple or violet. Either name is correct for that color. Next color is going to be my green. Next color of the rainbow is purple, or actually, I'm sitting here with a blue marker and saying purple. Blue. Now, if I'd done purple, would that have been okay? Absolutely. If I get them out of order, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, That tree looks super cool. I really like it. Now let's see how this one turns out, because I'm going to start it with the purple this time, the actual purple, not the blue, like I misspoke a second ago. Even though I had the right color in my hand, said the wrong name. Start this one with the purple. Okay, so now I'm at the end of the rainbow, so now I have to start at the beginning again. So now I'm going to start over with red. So this rainbow is going to look a little different, which again, perfectly okay. It doesn't matter. Here's my red crayon. Back through the colors of my rainbow again. Red, orange, then yellow and green.
Lisa and Danny, there's a table outside that needs to be brought in. If you could get it, it's leaning up against the wall by the side door. Thank you.
Okay, almost done. Then we'll see how this one looks. Okay, and now I'm finished. And I think it looks super cool. And I'm not sure which one I like better, honestly. I like them both because I think they both look really neat. But I'm kind of glad I decided to do that rainbow on my trees because I think it looks really, really cool. So go ahead and finish coloring. And I hope you guys had fun. And until next time.